I am not on the River Nen today. I'm on a completely different river. I'm in Cambridgeshire and I'm on the River Ouse. Not the River Great Ouse or the Great River Ouse. It's the River Great Ouse. No, the Great River Ouse. Great River Ouse. No, the River Great Ouse. I'll have to look that one up. The reward for being up at 3 AM in the morning was these rare noctilucent clouds and the Neowise comet. The next time you will be able to see it will be in 6,800 years' time. The ambrosial hours from 3:30 to 6 AM are the sweet spot of the day when it comes to strengthening and cleansing your mind, body and spirit. In fact, science tells us that early morning light exposure is correlated with lower BMI. The blue light that's outside in the early morning gives you a natural energy boost, no caffeine required. You really cannot get any better than this. I've got the sun coming up. It's absolutely beautiful. The river is just so still, so calm. There's a little bit of mist. It's absolutely wonderful. Alpenglow was illuminating the riverscape all around me as I headed off downstream, a taster of the dawn spectacle that was about to come. As soon as the sun peaks up above the landscape, the warmth and the energy surrounds you. My purpose for being out on the river at such an unearthly time was all of a sudden encapsulated in that moment. So the plan for today is that I'm cruising from the beautiful market town of St Neots and then I'm heading downstream to Paxton Pits, I believe, nature reserve. So I'm trying to find a wild moor in there. So I'm not going very far on the River Ouse, but it's just a nice taster. It's good to get out on a different river. Different rivers have different atmospheres, and this one certainly does. It's completely different to the River Nen, but I'm really enjoying it, I have to say. There are actually 4 rivers which go by the name of Ouse. This is the River Great Ouse. It travels for 143 miles before draining into the North Sea. We're just approaching the lock now, so I'm just going to get ready to do this lock. It is actually open, so that's quite handy. So we should be able to go straight through. This time of the morning, the beauty is there's no other boats, there's nothing on the river apart from the wildlife, and that's how I like it. The locks on the River Great Ouse are huge. It takes 5 minutes to fill and 5 minutes to empty. The bonus being, once you have used the lock and gone through, you do not have to reset the lock like on other rivers.
In 1944, the Oxford and Cambridge boat race was held on the Great Ouse. It was the only time that it didn't take place on the River Thames.
I just got through St Neots Lock and the sun's just rising, perfect timing because the river is just beautiful, and I'm just cruising along very slowly. I'm not going very fast at all because I'm just taking it all in and trying to get some pictures as well, but it's difficult actually steering and taking pictures, but beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
What better way to escape the everyday stress than messing about on a boat on the river? If you have a day, a week, or just a few hours, you can unwind and discover the hidden treasures of the Great Ouse.
Life at 4 miles an hour is great, and I'm just looking out for a wild mooring now. The only problem with wild mooring is that you have to watch for stinging nettles. That should do. Well, this has got to be one of the best wild mooring spots. It's absolutely beautiful here, just perfect. I'm at Paxton pits now. I've got the footpath ahead of me which leads into the pits. Let's go and explore. I just noticed that the path next to where I am wild moored is actually part of the Ouse Valley Way. Fantastic.
Paxton Pits is situated in the Great Ouse Valley in Little Paxton village between St Neots and Huntingdon. It is a rich mosaic of wildlife habitats, beautiful lakes, riverside, meadow, reed bed, scrub and woodland. It is a fantastic place to visit for bird watching and other wildlife spotting. you can very easily spend 2 to 3 hours wandering through the picturesque surroundings.
It's been an absolutely perfect cruising morning. I hope you've enjoyed it as well. But I love this river. It's a really, really nice river. It's wider than the Nen. It has its own characteristics. I would say it's grander than the River Nen. Even the lochs, they're huge. And that took a little bit of getting used to. But absolutely fabulous. I mean, a mooring like this is perfect. You know, you find a nice wild mooring and you could spend all day here. In fact, that's my intention. I am planning on spending all day here. Just great to sit here, listen to the wildlife and the wind on the leaves. Absolutely beautiful.
The river and being on the water is a reflection and an extension of myself and my life. It affirms the substance of me, and I attest the feelings of wellness that come over me when I'm on the river. The River Great Ouse always brings back happy memories when I spent a lot of my childhood fishing with my dad. A beautiful river with all different types of scenery as it meanders through the countryside. It was a bit tricky to steer the boat and take pictures at the same time, but here are some of the results of my lovely weekend on the Great River Ouse. I shall definitely be returning.